All right, you ready, Mr.? Welcome to our City of Flin Council meeting for October 21st, 2025, and we'll call the council to order. I'll ask Councilor Richardson to read.
In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge our meeting place. The City of Flin Council Chambers is situated in the ancestral lands of the Treaty 5 territory. We would also like to acknowledge that we work in partnership with First Nations in Treaty 6 and 10 territories and the Red River Métis Nation.
Thank you. And again, Councilor Richardson.
Reading and confirming of minutes 25-147. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held October 7th, 2025 be adopted as received.
Seconder, Councilor Slip, all in favor? And that is done. Resolutions, Councilor Dallas Funk.
Thanks. Check schedule 25-148. Be it resolved that the accounts in the amount of $527,231.21 be approved for payment.
Seconder, Councilor Eagle, all in favor?
That's a bargain compared to last time.
Yeah, it was like $2 million last time.
Councilor Dallas Funk again.
Thank you. Municipal funding application, Flin Flon Firefighters Association, 25-149. Be it resolved that the City of Flin Flon approve the municipal funding application towards the Flin Flon Firefighters Banquet in the amount of $10,000 be approved.
Be a seconder, will be Councilor Slip, all in favor? That is passed. Councilor Eagle.
Yes, thank you. Resolution 25-150, municipal funding application regarding Flin Flon Archives Board. Be it resolved that the City of Flin Flon approve the municipal funding application towards the Flin Flon Heritage website project in the amount of $2,500 be approved.
Seconder, Councilor Litwin, all in favor? Councilor Eagle again.
Yes, and this is Resolution 25-151 regarding Christmas lighting. Be it resolved that the City of Flin Flon purchase new Christmas lighting from Classic Displays at a cost of $16,895 plus applicable taxes and fees be approved.
Seconder, Councilor Dallas Funk, all in favor?
And lastly, Resolution 25-152, Remembrance Day Wreath. Be it resolved that the City of Flin Flon purchase a number 20 large wreath at a cost of $70 for the 2025 Remembrance Day service be approved.
Seconder, Councilor Litwin, all in favor? I'll be there to present that. Councilor Litwin.
I have one resolution, Your Worship, Northwest Manitoba Immigration Partnership 25-153. Whereas several communities in northern Manitoba are interested in being champions to grow our community population bases through immigration by attracting skilled workers, and whereas local industries and businesses are in need of this immigration partnership to help supply a workforce to fill vacant positions. Therefore, be it resolved that the City of Flin Flon commits to participating in the Northwest Manitoba Immigration Initiative and partnering with the province of Manitoba to create and execute a strategy to attract skilled immigrants to northern Manitoba, to assist local employers to fill vacant positions and to encourage growth in that area. And further, be it resolved that Councillor Mike Slip be appointed to the Governance Committee and the Regional Economic Development Officer, Taku Moshishu, be appointed to the Selection Committee.
Seconder, Councilor Richardson, all in favor? All right, and congratulations, Councilor Slip. Councilor Slip.
Yes, sir. Policy number 8.23, Respectful Workplace Resolution 25-154. Be it resolved that the revised policy number 8.23, Respectful Workplace attached hereto be approved.
Seconder, Councilor Eagle, all in favor? Okay. And Councilor Richardson again.
Operation Red Nose 2025. This is 25-155. Be it resolved that the City of Flin Flon provide the use of City Hall Council Chambers as headquarters for Operation Red Nose for the following dates: November 29th, December 5th, 6th, 12th, 13, 19, 20, and 31 for a total of 8 nights.
Seconder, Councilor Litwin. All in favor? Of course, a great service, and they've been here before, and of all the places we work, this is one of the best. We are close to adjournment, but I would like to, inside the meeting, offer you a chance to speak, ex-Councillor McKinnon.
Yes, from the Flin Flon fundraising committee for the new pool. We received today our 50/50 tickets for the draw on New Year's Eve during Operation Red Nose. So they'll be available online, and the information we put online, they're available at the front desk here. They're $20 each, and we encourage people to help purchase them, help sell them. We'll be selling them at the Co-op a few days also. And we also have calendars. I just posted tonight, they're selling like hotcakes.
Good.
If you want yours, or pick them up at City Hall here while they're here. Anyway, and thank everyone once again for supporting everything that we're doing. And I also have the first 3 books here. If anyone would like to be the first one purchasing tickets for the 50/50 tickets, I have them here. So thank you for the time.
Thank you. With that, we will adjourn. Okay. Motion to adjourn? Okay. And we'll move to questions. Sure.
All right, so the first question I have is, for these resolutions for the firefighters banquet and the Flin Flon Heritage website, those are just donations, right?
They are.
Okay. Okay, so the other questions I have, I know we talked a little bit about it before, but I still don't see the new bus on the road. Is there any idea when that's going to happen?
Does somebody here know the answer to that? Because I don't. I guess I don't know the answer.
No. but
I think we have it, right? Someone said last time they're doing decals and things like
I
that.
believe they're waiting for the cameras to install the cameras and stuff.
Okay, so they're putting cameras on there, okay.
Oh, cameras now. Good. Glad to have them.
And that's the holdup, Joy?
I believe so, but I'll double check tomorrow.
Okay. And I guess, staying with that, the shelters and sidewalks, are they all built now, or is there any more being put up?
Well, the sidewalk work for this part of it is complete.
Okay,
The pads are, but the shelters haven't gone up yet. We're just waiting on the contractor. They're in town. We're just, like the supplies are here, the shelters are here.
is the idea to get them up before the snow flies?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so soon then? Okay, and just one other question, Allison, you were mentioning when I saw you here last week about that conference you attended. Can you give me a little bit more detail on that, please?
Northern Cities Conference?
Yeah, whatever you were mentioning.
Yeah,
just
it's
last-
called, that's the proper name, right?
Northern AMM.
Northern AMM.
Was that in Thompson?
Yes. So the conference changes locations. So next year, for example, it'll be at the PAW. So
Okay.
all the northern communities. It was really great because Lynn Lake was able to attend, Leaf Rapids was able to attend, Snow Lake was able to attend, and we were there. Cranberry was there, the PAW was there. Am I missing anybody, Joy?
Thompson.
Yeah, and obviously Thompson, because they were hosting it.
Right,
But it was the first time that any of us had got to see each other since the fire season, and especially with Lynn Lake and Leaf Rapids and Snow Lake coming back. So it was nice to see that they could make it. A lot of conversation around being a community that takes the evacuees and what kind of toll and what you need to be prepared for in that, but also from our perspective, being the community that was the evacuated community and what that looks like for us. Minister Samard was there as well, and so he spoke on a number of different topics. One of them was about unorganized territories. We spoke a lot about finances in regards to fires and what that looks like. So who's paying for the mitigation? So if you think about our community, Flin Flon as a municipality has a very small area, but the part that needs to be mitigated is actually not considered Flin Flon. It's provincial parks or unorganized territory, so that would be Northern Affairs. So who's actually responsible to take care of that? Thompson did a tremendous job on trying to get prepared and to stay out of harm's way, and now they are in that process of having that discussion with the province because it's not their land that they actually were clearing or taking care of. So those kind of conversations, So it was really good to talk to everybody about those things.
So basically, the evacuations and the wildfires are probably the big topic of conversation.
Yeah, that was, yeah. Yeah,
And
and
what-
municipal funding, obviously, everybody wants more money.
Right. And when did this take place? When was it?
2 weeks ago on a Wednesday,
So 2 weeks ago, okay.
Is this the Northern District meeting that was
Yeah.
canceled in June?
June, yeah, so they call it the
The
June.
Northern District meeting is what it's
Of
called.
the
Yeah.
AMM.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
yeah,
Karen.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a meeting that we should have had in June, but obviously we didn't have it. And so,
The reason you have these meetings, and they always say it, and it's true, is that a group, whether it's a northern AMM or the provincial AMM, is a lot stronger than an individual municipality in
Yeah.
lobbying the government, and it's really,
yeah,
I remember Ms. McKinnon talking to us on the first day about the AMM,
Oh, yeah.
and we had no idea, but it's a very powerful and important lobby group, I guess, and this was just the northern part of it.
They talk about also too, the resolutions that the northern communities want to put forth. So there's a resolution going forth trying to change some things in the Mental Health Act. And one good example that Councillor Slip was talking about as coming to a collective. So the PAW and our community in Thompson brought forth resolution in regard to sharps disposal, and they brought it to AMM last year, saying, you know, the health region and harm reduction and Play It Safer Network are involved in this, and why are municipalities responsible for cleaning up sharps or paying for people to clean up sharps, and who actually is in charge of this. And so it was put forth by AMM, and a year later, then the Minister of Health came forth, and they had offered a very minimal amount of money, which kind of we balked at a bit, but what it did was it put forth the motion of having who's responsible for taking care of that. So now the health region, the PAW, and Thompson and ourselves are all having those conversations. So Flin Flon now is having that conversation about what that looks like. So it's great to see because we quickly learned that decisions in governance is very slow. So it was very nice to see something start, finish, and now it's coming to fruition. So that's one of the things that happens when we're there.
One of the motions that was put forward by all the northern communities, I think it was moved by us and the PAW, which was to try and find some way to get funding from the neighboring, not municipalities, the neighboring communities around the cities that are providing services. And so that's still on their books, and they're lobbying towards that, because we don't have any kind of an agreement on anything, whether it be recreation, fire, all that sort of thing. We don't have those right now, and it would be a good idea to have some, and it would be a good idea to get some money from the people who are using our services. So that was something we all did promote it as communities, and we're waiting for some results from above for them to help us to make that happen.
How would you word that again, George? Try and get funding from areas around major communities, or?
Yeah, like they did a lot of communities, a lot of cities, for example, have municipalities around them, and they have agreements with the municipalities to share services, okay? So here, the problem with us is we're dealing with being surrounded by parks and unorganized territories, and they don't have spokespeople that we can work with, and we have no way of getting money from the people who are part of our community, are using our services, but are paying nothing towards them. And that's something that we're really working hard as municipalities to initiate conversations with respect to that with those organizations.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a big one. It's part of that.
Yeah. A good example is Dauphin. So you have the city of Dauphin and then the RM of Dauphin, and they have a mutual agreement together. And they both pay for certain things. We don't have any of that.
The
Now, there
library
doesn't
does.
cost.
The library has an agreement for the,
Yeah,
It's
we're
not
talking
anything-
about like recreation and snow removal and fire protection and all the other things. Yeah,
That's what that organization
mainly
is
fire
doing for
protection,
us.
yeah,
Fire protection, yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, wanted to do my ritual checking in every meeting about the fire money and whether that's been reimbursed by Winnipeg yet.
No,
Well, that was quick.
yeah,
It's difficult because we're pinching our pennies. We've made that clear in every direction. we should be doing a few more things than we're doing, but our money's tied up. And one of the things, you knew that the hotel was supposed to have been torn down. That money just had to be reallocated to other things while we had it, while it was fluid and able to do so. So we're still moving things around and we're still waiting for answers. But the applications, are they in or have they been submitted yet, do you know?
Yeah.
They're submitted now, yeah, because I know they were filling in information for a while, and we had to wait for the program to actually open
Yeah.
so that we could get paid, so it's a waiting game, but,
It only opened a couple of weeks ago, too.
Yeah, well, it's-
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that's fair. So with the Flin Flon Hotel demolition thing there that was tendered, obviously, because of the money situation, any sort of original date that was set in that, it seems like that's not going to be met, just because the money's not there.
Yes.
So does that mean that the city then has to re-tender it at a later point, or does that get worked out between you and whoever's contracted to do it?
well, we're just gonna have to feel how we feel about the building by the time we actually think we got money in the bank, and then we'll decide what we wanna do. I told you this one many times, it's never dead. I'm expecting a phone call from a gentleman this week. I've had a phone call at the beginning of the week who actually wants to talk about that building again. So, but that means, whatever that means, I don't wanna make a promise, I've said, but it's not gonna be dead till it's torn down.
Okay.
Until it's torn down, we will continue to try and find a use and a proponent, okay?
But would it have to be tendered again? Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, if you've had that call, then we could say there's been at least some interest perhaps in somebody reaching a deal with the city about that?
There are calls, there's nothing concrete. People are kicking tires, as they say, and seeing whether it fits their business plan and that sort of thing. And in this particular case, that person has to look and see how they feel about the business atmosphere in this community, you know. So there's research that has to be done. Nobody's going to pick something like that up on a whim. So, but like I said, all I'm trying to tell you is it's really not dead yet.
Okay. The money for the Flin Flon Archives Board, $2,500 towards the Heritage Website Project, or Heritage Project website, one of the two, you know, it's around or something. I see there's an application in the package, which I have not had time yet to read. What are we looking at for where this money is going to be going?
It's for IT. It's for IT support and for them to update their website and so on, and they keep working on that. And from time to time, I think 2 or 3 years ago, they had requested funding for a similar project, and it's time again.
Okay. How often does the Archives Board report to the city or the city council? Like, are there regular meetings that you guys are involved with, or what sorts of?
Is that you, Judy, or?
No, that's not me.
Must be Bill.
It's Bill.
Is it Bill? Of course it's Bill, it's the one guy who's not here, right?
I know it's not me.
Okay,
Me
fair play.
either.
It probably shouldn't take too long for me to figure out who's on the board, right? We've talked about this at meetings before, people from the board have been here, but, you know, just wanted to
I
check.
think that's Don Peak, is that Don?
Les Oyster, isn't it?
Yeah, last oyster.
It's Les Oystrick and it's Don Peak, I know
Yeah.
Don very well, so that would, you know, that's fine. Christmas lighting, almost 17 grand for new Christmas lighting. I would like to know what we're looking at for this and what this is gonna look like once it's all put together.
It's
There's a
time.
picture, there's a picture that's available that we saw.
Not in the package I got anyway.
No.
What's
it-
that?
It's not, he doesn't have it
Yeah.
in his package.
No, I said, I'm trying, where's the picture that we saw? Because we saw pictures of the choices. It was going to be a variety, to describe, it was going to be a variety of different things or a repetition going down the street. We decided we liked the variety better than the repetition. That much I know about.
It's a Christmas surprise, Eric.
Oh, don't do that, come on,
I,
not me. Come on.
No, it
I've
is
said
actually
every time that I'm
exactly
kind
what
of
it
sad to
is.
see the old ones go because they're vintage and they're,
Yeah, no,
but
it
they're,
was.
they're in terrible shape.
Mm.
Terrible.
And the
shape.
lighting changed.
And the lighting
Yes.
change, it wouldn't work. So, we're excited about it.
Yeah, it's part of
All
our.
I know is that the first one's blue, the second one isn't. You know, like
And it'll brighten it up even more.
There we go. So just so we're clear on this then, like, because when I saw Christmas lighting, the first thing I thought of was the tree at Pioneer Square. Is that staying the same then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're looking at more specifically are the seasonal lights that get put up on the light standards
That's
along
right.
Main Street?
Right.
Okay, and that is supposed to look different than the old ones did?
they've lived their life.
That's right.
That's
So we're
valid.
told.
That's valid. And I mean, again, like you mentioned with the new lights, it might not work the way it used to anyway.
No.
Yeah.
You know what, again, what this is, Eric, quite frankly, is its attitude. We're all pretty pleased about, like, the community we live in. We do everything we can to make it a happy place. And if lighting up for Christmas helps, then, you know, on a per capita basis, we can afford to do it. And to, you know, just keep maintaining the fact that, hey, we're a lively, vibrant community. We want to show that off.
I wanted to ask as well about this Northwest Manitoba Immigration Partnership. It's been a little while since something like this has been on the docket for council. If I remember correctly, this was first broached during the term of the previous CAO. I think Emily had brought this up. And I hadn't heard a lot about that since. Obviously, Taku's in that job now, and he's going to be involved with this. But what are we looking at for this? Is it going to be more or less the same as before? Has it changed? Like, what are we looking at for this?
Mike, or two on that?
Yeah, it's a little confusing because there's two groups.
Okay.
And I'm involved in both. This particular one is getting organized, and I think it's the PAW CAO is sort of leading the charge, and this is just to help to get immigrants up. The other program, up to work, the other program, and for the life of me I can't remember the name of it, but it's to help immigrants that do come.
They're basically called a welcome committee.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Acclimatize themselves to living in not only Flin Flon but Canada. How do you find a doctor? How do you get a driver's license? How do you where do I go to get help? And all the things that you might not know as a new Canadian. And they have offices set up everywhere but Flin Flon right at the moment. So my push is to get an office in Flin Flon, and it's to help, as I say, new Canadians acclimatize themselves to where they're going to live.
Okay. And that, just so we're clear too, that was going back from the last time, it was mentioned to me that this was people who had been, who had found work already and were coming in here, or were likely to find work, were in in-demand fields. Right?
That's the one that's on here, exactly. Yeah, and also to recruit, because we still need workers here for different things.
And it's the province, it's a 3-year pilot that the province is doing.
Okay. All right, got that. Also wanted to check into about the work on Main Street. I see there's finally a set of traffic lights over here. And I think some people were not sure they were there when I came by yesterday, because I'm certain I saw a few people blow that red light because I didn't see it. And I won't say who, I'm not a narc, but I want to know exactly what sorts of timelines we're looking at for whatever various work is happening on Main Street for construction. Obviously, the lights are up here. I know that we're still, I believe, waiting on paving and lighting down further south towards the old co-op building. What are we looking at for
We're
all
putting
this?
the lighting down by the co-op right as we speak.
Yeah.
And the sidewalks of the co-op were being poured yesterday. All that whole corner was being poured. So that should be set by today. And the lights were running, so I think it's in its end stages.
We got it waiting for paving though, right?
Yeah, well, I think that'll be the
Maple
last.
Leaf is here right now.
To
Yeah,
pave the road.
they already
Okay.
started ripping up the,
I know I saw them doing the lights.
but you know who to call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ghostbusters.
And Ghostbusters. I think it's a little too early in October for doing that.
It's never too early
Never
for
too early,
Ghostbusters.
no.
Well, I mean, just for Ghostbusters.
No.
I know who to call and I will call them, but we're 10 days too early for the Ghostbusters. Also wanted to check in on, I know that the city held, I believe last week, the I think open houses we could call them, like the community sorts of
Public
gatherings for the public, like the planning and design thing for Shannon.
Urban
Oh,
planning.
that's an open house, yes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I didn't have the time to go down and check that out myself, so I'll ask it here, and I'm sure that Joy will have access to some information about that. She can send my way if you could, please.
Yep.
But while I've got y'all in front of me in the room here, what are we looking at from city plans for that?
Two main areas were being looked at, and one was around the Grant Lake area, which is an area we've been trying to purchase from Crown Land, 400 and some acres, and what the long-term eventual use was, or should be for that. And so they were doing, I think, what they called soft diagrams. So it was maps that were a little more fluffy than concrete, looking at potential uses of certain areas and how you might lay the whole place out. And then how the community visualizes the future of that area. You know, it's long-term planning. The second one that they were looking at the area was the area between the highway and Channing, or between the hotels and Channing, or that area, you know, all in there around Mud Lake and that kind of thing, and how there's a lot of past plans on paper that indicate neighborhoods are there that aren't there, and things like that, and potentials, plus looking at the idea of the NCCCAE, which is the concept of an arts and educational facility, and looked at it as being a potential in one or both of those sites, depending on which one could be forwarded, because like there are some favorites and that sort of thing, but still realistically, if that can be made to go ahead, because it's a potential large project, that's a part of it. So that, housing, tourism, and business, and potential partnerships with, for example, First Nations, all those things were talked about. And then the joining of those areas from original, where the community is now, to, like say, through the campground to those areas that are potentially recreation, that sort of thing. So discussing how that could happen, so it's a lot of different people putting their visions into that, and then the architect, the zoning person, and an engineer working to try and conceptualize that and put it down on paper.
Okay, a lot to chew on there. And the NCCCAE, I hear that and it's like, wow, I have not heard that name in some time.
It's not dead. That is a large initiative that we have Crystal Colt working on, and she's been talking to people in Ottawa, politicians and money people and education people and that sort of thing. So that's been a push of ours. It's still likely, like if we can get that to go ahead, you know, we see ourselves as educationally and socially as like the Banff of the North, you know, in what we can do both arts-wise and you know, culturally. So there's a lot of components to it, and she's out there pushing that. So hopefully we can turn that into something. Okay. So that's part of what you're asking, because that concept is built into one or both of these.
Okay. Yeah, the Banff of the North would be nice. I think the development of Banff-like mountains up here may be slow in coming, but everything else to go.
We have to push a little from underneath.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about the arts center.
Gotta get a lot of bulldozers in there otherwise. But I also wanted to check in about provincial honors. I spoke to Fire Chief Jason earlier this week about being inducted into the Order of the Buffalo Hunt, and if I remember correctly, municipal leaders from the north were also included in that, and I believe you were there for that, George. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, we were there. I was, three of us were destined to go there, but Lynn Brown wasn't able to make it, but both the fire chief and I were there. And yes, we were part of a group recognized for all the work. So individual names were not put in that. It was stated as Office of the Fire Commissioner and EMTs and first responders, and then of course the community leaders and the communities that worked. So we went not as individual recipients, but as representatives of the whole communities who fought the fires and, you know, came out on the plus side mostly. So it was that whole effort that was being recognized.
Okay, yeah, because I know I went looking for a list of who was inducted, and I don't think such a list exists.
No, it doesn't. It was generic.
It's too many people, you know.
It was confusing because as Catholic will tell you, the invitation was confusing. It wasn't sure how that was going to be done. So when we got there, we realized that it was a general type of a thing, and we were all, you know, we all got to go through the ceremony and that sort of a thing. And one, it's not a plaque, it's you know, a nice photograph anyway, put out there, and that'll be hung at the legislature, and it recognizes all the people who took part in this. So. And you're right, the list of names, it would be unending, so there are no names on it.
Yeah, I did know that there was a photo of the delegation that went in the Free Press, and I knew Jason was in it because he doesn't hide in a crowd very well.
No.
So like I found him, tracked him down, and barricaded him in his office and got an interview in and all that, because you kind of have to with him sometimes. It feels like.
I will say, and I don't know if she'll be embarrassed, but I wasn't there, I wish I could have been, but the fireman's banquet, the firemen gave Allison Dallas Funk a call out for her work during the fire, but Judy and her husband were here, and they were thanked too, but I was really happy to hear that the firemen and the firefighters gave Allison Dallas Funk a recognition for all the work she did during the fires. And as I say, Judy and a whole bunch of people were here too, but we all know how important Allison was with communication, so well deserved.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Not easy times for anybody to go through. Wanted to also check in on a grant that I'd seen that the city had received. I'd seen something about that Canada Community Building Fund grant that was coming in, something along the neighborhood of $46,000. I'm wondering where that was.
46, I only saw the 100.
Was it 100? Okay. I'd seen 46, but you know how like different places will
The
report these
next one
numbers
better say
differently.
2.4 million.
Yeah.
We're
Well, okay,
waiting-
is that the same one as the accessibility one then, or?
Joy, well, that was, what was that one called again?
The Grow, Manitoba Grow.
No, Manitoba
not
Grow
the
we're
same.
waiting on.
Yeah,
No, we're waiting on that one.
This is a separate
The other, this other one was, you just said what it was when you started, I thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know the stream through which it was Canada Community Building Fund, but
That's-
I don't
yeah,
know, but I don't know what it was supposed to go to. I
To the
just
pool.
had-
Cool.
Just
To
as
the
the
pool.
pool, okay,
It was $100,000 roughly
Right.
towards the pool.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's
All
a
right.
it's a big deal. We appreciate it. We just need more, bigger deals.
Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad thing. One more question, and I think y'all knew it was coming at some point, but I have to ask about the zoning meeting that happened here last week. This room was full, just about as full as I've seen it for years. A lot of people had a lot to say. I'm wondering if anybody on council or, anyone generally has something they'd like to say about that meeting, how they feel they may vote once this comes up again, or anything of that nature.
Okay, so I'll start this off with saying, we have not had our discussion as a council with respect, I said that at the meeting and it hasn't happened yet, with respect to where we're gonna go with it yet. We've gone through the process. And then part of the process was listening to the people, which was a big deal. Now we're going to cogitate that and we will study it. We might even do that at a committee of the whole next week, finally have that conversation as a group. We have not just avoided it, we've just kept it out completely so that we could, hear as much as we could before anybody voiced to anybody else in here what their actual opinion is, and that has not been done yet. So in about a week from now, we will be talking to each other about it, and once we have an answer, as soon as we have an answer, we will let the public know, okay?
The one thing about the meeting was I think we were all very impressed with the crowd, the people, and the way they conducted themselves and the way they spoke. They were very articulate and got their point across, and very passionate, but respectful. And that's how this should work, is, let's hear from them and let's do it respectfully, and they did. I thought they were fantastic at saying their piece, so.
That's unanimous, that's the unanimous feeling of the council, we
Yeah.
were pleased.
I did want to say something though about that fire banquet. Councillor Eagle and myself attended. Joy was there as well. It was a great feeling to be back there. Judy's my counterpart. And not be making sandwiches or cooking or answering phones. But more importantly, it was really great to see people from all over Manitoba come back to our community just to check in. Not because, we were in evacuation and ready to burn down, So there were people that we had to double take because we had only seen in coveralls for 30 days straight. It was, I know, and I'm sure Judy feels the same way, an extremely humbling experience to be part of, especially watching a whole team, RCMP, EMS, and the fire department. And then, you know, there were 7 of us. So from the city to the fire event was James and Shane were there from our water department. Judy was there, and Harley, who every day made sure that coffee was made at 6:30 in the morning. He never missed a day, on top of, you know, making sure that Judy and everybody could get in a house if they needed to see the animals. And Lynn was there, and our EMO officer was there, and I was there. There was about 7 of us. But that feeling in that room, and I know, and this is, I can say why Mike said this, it is an uncomfortable feeling for people to say thank you to you as an individual. It really is. Because I don't think I did anything near as much as a firefighter did. I've watched them over these months not take any praise, not want to have the thank you, not anything. So that night, when I was allotted, you know, which was great, some time to, you know, just thank everybody in the room, to say tonight is the night that everybody can take the thank you, because we were a collective group all sitting there that had all worked towards one goal for no other reason than to make sure and to save a community. And so take that moment and take that thank you. And as a group collectively, it feels comfortable doing it. Even though there are, you know, George and Jason and everybody, and you, like, it's true, you could name literally anybody. But that whole night was amazing. The food was great. I cracked a couple jokes about Chicken Chef cooking the food, because they cooked for, you know, on and off for 30 days. But we would have been eating sandwiches, and Judy and I were not making any more.
400 a day was enough.
We were not doing that anymore. But it's amazing, and all the firefighters that came up and spoke to me and talked so much about Flin Flon, and how gracious and how happy and grateful they were to be able to come back and see Flin Flon for what it is, and how beautiful it is.
With people here.
With people here, with no smoke here, to be able to drive around and visit. So it honestly was an amazing night, and I'm so glad that the firemen got to do it. There was like 180 people there, I think. So that was great, and at least 60 from out of town, from different fire departments. So yeah, it was a really great night, and we should be all really proud of our protection service teams, whether it's EMS, RCMP, or firefighters, like tremendous, and natural resources as well. They had a huge team here. So I just wanted to say that it was great, and yeah.
The beauty of that too, you know, when we all got back, and still forever be thankful to these people. And we talked as a council on what can we do to celebrate this? And I think it was the mayor who said, what do the firefighters want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they wanted to do. And it was perfect.
So many businesses, I can't even remember them. They were listing them off that night. So many community members and businesses gave money. They gave T-shirts and coins to the guys, and had the party, and I think supplied the hotel room to say thank you, because these municipalities had them come up here, which means that municipality was less their fire protection. They brought their own fire trucks, the majority of them. So those communities actually were at a loss and sacrificing as well. So it was nice that they came.
Not to prolong this much longer, but a fireman was at the dealership today, and he said, you know, a couple came up together and they were asking, when do we pay for something? The fire, they supplied almost everything. Yeah, they even got gas cards, I heard, $100 gas cards.
They had so much sponsorship.
It was fantastic, great support.
Okay, that's it for me.
Thank you. Karen, did you have anything else?
No, I think that was it.
Okay, that's a nice evening, folks.